In his office, Curtis has called in Alexis to help with his aunt's troubles. Stella arrives, immediately knows Curtis called the lawyer for her, and feels he's overcomplicating a simple audit. Eventually, Stella agrees to let Alexis represent her to ease Curtis's worries. Stella admits to massaging some paperwork and altering dates on occasion, which Alexis says constitutes insurance fraud. Stella recalls that she only altered dates 7 times, and she knows this because if the claims had been denied, many of these people would have faced bankruptcy. She vents that the patients acted in good faith, paying their premiums, and should have been covered. Even Martin didn't know his insurance had lapsed. The mention of Martin's name sets off alarms for Curtis, as his biggest client is none other than Drew. At the hospital, Liz and Lucas tend to Maxie and wait for the labs on what caused her heart attack. Lucas worries because she should be awake by now. Lucas and Liz soon reveal to Lulu and Spinelli that there is no indication that Maxie is rejecting her heart, and her blood panel is strong. They just need her to wake up. Liz and Lucas leave to speak with Felicia and Mac, and Spinelli realizes he has to talk to the kids. Lulu offers to do that, as he needs to be the first person Maxie sees when she wakes up. Spinelli sits with his Maxinista and begs her to open her eyes, promising the minute she does, he's going to ask her to marry him. Sadly, Maxie remains unconscious. In the lounge, Cody, Mac, and Felicia comfort one another over Maxie's situation. Anna arrives later and finds Felicia alone. Felicia relays that Lucas just updated them on what he knows. Felicia fears the miracle Maxie got when she was 6 has run out. Anna tells her miracles don't have expiration dates, and Maxie will pull through, as she is strong like her mother. In another lounge, Lucas is reliving the nightmare of losing Sam, and is just glad this time he could save someone he loves. Liz says he did everything right, and they are on Maxie's timeline now and just have to wait for her to wake up. After looking in on Maxie, Mac tells his son that raising Georgie, Maxie, and Robin were the highlights of his life. Cody says Maxie was the one who made him want to be a part of her family, and even when he was being an ass, she never gave up on him. Lulu arrives at Maxie's, where Emma is still with the kids. She updates Emma on Maxie before the young girl heads out. There is a knock at the door, and Lulu is stunned to see it's Obrecht. Obrecht explains she only came to check on her grandson, but didn't know she was here, so she'll leave, not wanting trouble. Lulu invites her in, knowing James will be happy to see her. Yes, you read that correctly! Obrecht knows about Maxie and asks what the kids have been told. Lulu says not much, and she was about to tell them. Georgie and James run out, and the boy has once again stolen his sister's phone to see what she's hiding from him. Georgie snaps, "Mom's in the hospital, and you are being a brat!" James accuses Georgie of lying, but Obrecht and Lulu say Georgie isn't. Obrecht and Lulu explain what they know about their mother. Obrecht relays that sometimes it takes doctors a while to figure out what is wrong with a patient. However, their mother is strong and in excellent health. At the pool, Drew congratulates Gio for cutting ties with the Qs. Gio snaps at the congressman, telling him his family is none of his business, not after what he did to the Q's crypt and is trying to do to Sonny. Martin appears and notes that Gio sounds a lot like Tracy, who isn't always right. Gio says she's not wrong about the two of them. Damn, even kids hate Drew. Gio walks off, and Drew rants that Gio is just like the rest of the Qs, and he'll be singing another tune when Michael and Sonny are both in prison. Martin asks how he's going to make that happen. Drew fills the lawyer in on the complaint he filed with Turner about Michael's assault, which comes with a hefty prison sentence. Martin comments that a black eye doesn't equate assault. Snap! Drew once again brings it all back to Willow and that he's helping her get her kids back. Martin warns him that this might not go his way, and Curtis and Michael will use Aurora to paint Michael as a saint. Drew scoffs that Curtis is busy dealing with his aunt being accused of insurance fraud. Martin asks how he knows about Stella's situation. Drew claims he's a congressman who hears things. Martin warns Drew that if his statement doesn't include approaching Wiley and upsetting him, he can't represent him. Drew counters that Martin can't afford to lose him as a client. Emma sees her into up, and she confides in Gio about Maxie and having to watch her kids last night. Gio feels for the kids, recalling how he felt when his mom was sick and in the hospital. Emma admits she's never seen her grandma truly scared until today. She cries, as she's scared too. Gio comforts her. Diane, Sonny, and Michael arrive at the station to meet with Turner voluntarily. Sonny insists he speak with Justine alone first, and they head into the interrogation room. Michael begs Diane to make sure Willow doesn't get custody of the kids if he's arrested today. In private, Sonny tells Justine they both know Drew is blowing this out of proportion, and Michael is innocent. Justine says no matter what they think about Drew, Michael did punch him in a restaurant full of people. She has to do her job, but she won't let this rest easily after what she overheard last night. Turner and Sonny head back to the squad room, where Chase has arrived, having interviewed all 9 witnesses at the restaurant. Before Chase can speak, Drew and Martin saunter in. Drew asks Turner why Michael isn't in cuffs, given his statement and all the witnesses. Chase drops the bomb that every person he spoke with has no recollection of Michael punching Drew. Drew accuses Chase of covering for Michael, saying Carly obviously convinced the staff to lie for her son, and maybe Sonny even paid the others off. Sonny asks Diane to make a note that the congressman just harassed him. Turner lashes out that she won't let Drew drag an officer's name through the mud, and everyone is very aware of his public animosity towards Michael. Drew turns to Martin, saying his lawyer will be his witness. At Maxie's, the kids are gone, and Lulu thanks Obrecht, as she didn't know what to say to them. That chill you just felt was hell freezing over. However, Lulu can tell something is bothering Dr. O. Obrecht admits the longer Maxie remains unconscious, the more likely it is she'll slip into a coma. At the pool, Emma apologizes if she's bringing up bad memories for Gio. He says they are friends, and she's been here for him as his life has fallen apart. He takes her hand in support. Are these two ever going to move beyond just friends? At the hospital, Lucas tells Maxie's family there is an anomaly in her blood, an unidentified enzyme. They need to figure out what it is and how to treat it. Anna speaks with Lucas in private about this enzyme, which he's never seen the likes of. She asks if there is a chance that Maxie was poisoned. At Aurora, Stella insists she told Martin not to tell anyone what she did for him, but Curtis believes he could have slipped up. He's certain Drew is behind this, and Alexis says it wouldn't surprise her. At the station, Turner reads Drew's insane statement against Michael, which he signs. Turner tells Martin that if he agrees this is the truth, he should also sign it. Martin stands there with his arms crossed. Come, Martin, be our hero and not a zero like Cyrus. General Hospital spoilers for the week of August 25th to 29. Hint that Jen Sidwell will keep a sinister secret while Drew Kane's downfall is brewing. Jason Morgan will also find that he can't give up, so here's what GH viewers can look forward to. First, Ava Jerome and Rick Lansing Davis will continue scheming against each other. It's just a matter of who'll play it the smartest and how bad the backlash will be in the aftermath. As for Nina Reeves, she'll plot her next move after a meeting with Rick. Now that Carly Spencer has riled her up, Nina may be even more motivated to fix things for Willow Tate and help get her kids back. Speaking of Willow, she'll await someone's response after asking for a huge favor. Will this involve another plea to Michael Corinthos, or perhaps a request for Harrison Chase's help instead? Regardless, Willow and Chase will continue to reconnect, so that could spell trouble for his marriage to Brooke Lynn Quartermain. However, Brooke Lynn may not even pick up on Chase's bonding sessions with his ex right now. That's because Brooke Lynn will be having some of her own with Dante Falconeri, who'll remain determined to help them both get through to Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Next, Marco Rios will comfort Lucas Jones over Maxie Jones' medical drama. Despite Lucas' best efforts to help Maxie, it looks like she may have a lengthy coma crisis ahead of her. Of course, Lucas won't realize Sidwell is likely responsible for Maxie's ordeal through what appeared to be poisoned face cream. Marco may not realize that either, at least not just yet. As for Maxie, will she be shipped off to a long-term care facility? Perhaps one that has some special treatment that could help her. If that happens, Maxie could end up getting kidnapped on top of everything else. It's clear that Sidwell wants to silence Maxie when it comes to the deception-related evidence against Sonny Corinthos, so he may make other bold moves. Elsewhere, Jack Brennan will do his best to soothe Carly nerves, so that could be about Jocelyn Jacks if she isn't checking in. There's also a chance Jocelyn's cover story could fall apart if Jasper Jax gets involved and realizes Joss isn't where she said she'd be. Brennan will definitely have some fires to put out when it comes to Jocelyn and Vaughn, since they're about to land in even more danger at the Five Poppies resort. Jason will face some dangerous circumstances of his own, but he'll refuse to abandon Britt Westbourne when he doesn't have all the facts of what's going on here. Back in Port Charles, Drew's enemy list will be growing longer every day. The show has all the makings of a mystery where someone pulls the trigger on Drew, so that could be coming up down the line. In the meantime, ADA Justine Turner will continue trying to take down Drew in other ways, so that'll help Michael and earn Sonny's gratitude in the process. Are Sonny and Justine on the verge of a sizzling encounter? All signs point to Justine and Sonny hitting the sheets at some point, so it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to get there. General Hospital spoilers say the week of August 25-29 will bring some highs and lows, so stick with us for updates on all the exciting news and jaw-dropping moments. General Hospital spoilers reveal that we have to ask, is Spencer Cassadine alive in Paris? Has Britt Westbourne secretly been visiting Spencer during her Paris trips? Britt certainly seemed on edge regarding the topic of Paris in the August 19th episode. After Britt found out Jason Morgan spotted her at the airport there, she quickly shut down the idea of ever visiting again. Britt made it clear that she was never going back to Port Charles and ranted about Jason blowing Paris for her too. Jason was confused, so let's take a closer look at Britt's dialogue in that conversation. I liked it there, but I can't run the risk of someone else recognizing me, so c'est la vie, Britt said. Of course, Jason couldn't help but have questions about this Paris fixation. It just seemed like there was some significance beyond Britt enjoying the shopping, fine dining, and tourist attractions. Wait, why are you worried about somebody recognizing you in Paris? Why there? Jason asked. Britt definitely seemed to be holding back with the way she averted Jason's gaze. It's clear that Britt was being cagey, so maybe there'll be a big Paris reveal somewhere down the line. If that's the case, what if Britt's hiding Spencer's survival? Could Britt know that Spencer is alive and living in Paris, perhaps at a medical facility somewhere? Spencer was presumed deceased after a tumble into the Seine, but that doesn't mean he's gone forever if a clandestine rescue went down. It's possible that Spencer is in a coma, or that he's got a long-term recovery in process. On the other hand, Spencer might be fine now and just hiding to protect his loved ones back in PC, especially Trina Robinson. If Spencer was saved as part of the same project as Britt, Britt and Spencer could be in similar situations if that's how GH writers want to tell Spencer's comeback story. Regardless, Britt might have enjoyed visiting Paris because it gave her the chance to see Spencer since they always had a special bond. Maybe Britt doesn't want to risk exposing Spencer's survival secret either. Now that she's been spotted in the area, there has to be more to this whole Paris thing, so it'll be interesting to see if this project has a Cassadine connection or if something else is going on. Even if Spencer has to return in the form of a recast, plenty of viewers would like to see him again. General Hospital spoilers say anything can happen now that this shady resurrection project is taking center stage. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, August 20th, reveal that Maxie Jones won't be waking up while Martin Gray betrays livid Drew Kane. Sonny Corinthos will also grill ADA Justine Turner, so there'll be some shocking moments ahead in Port Charles. First, Max Scorpio will question why Maxie's heart would suddenly fail out of nowhere, as he talks to Felicia Scorpio and Cody Bell about the situation. Maxie had a transplant when she was young, but her heart's been doing fine for many years. Since Maxie seemingly had a heart attack out of nowhere, that'll leave Mac, as well as Maxie's other loved ones, with plenty of questions. Of course, the tainted face cream seems to be the issue despite Lucy Coe's belief that it's fine. There's more to the story, so Anna Devane's upcoming theory may involve that cream being sabotaged. Or she could at least decide Maxie was targeted. Lulu Spencer will get updates on something that rattles her, so that could involve Anna's suspicions, or perhaps just Maxie's condition. Since Lucas will admit Maxie should be awake by now, he'll have some concerns as he delivers difficult news. It sounds like Maxie will be in a coma, so that'll be a tough blow for Lulu since she's been in Maxie's shoes before. As for Giovanni Gio Palmieri, He'll listen as Emma Scorpio Drake opens up to him. Gio will assure Emma that he's not flinching yet, so he may once again pledge his support when it comes to Professor Henry Hank Dalton's takedown. Next, Martin will ask a smug Drew how he plans to accomplish something. Drew will count on Martin to be his star witness in the assault case against Michael Corinthos, but he's in for a rude awakening. Since Martin clearly suspects Drew was behind Stella Henry's fraud investigation, one that Martin himself is now tangled up in, why should he lift a finger to help Drew? That's how Martin will feel about all this, so Michael will gain a valuable witness who could help him prove that he was provoked. Drew will fume when he realizes Martin is betraying him, but it'll serve him right for causing Stella's crisis. Unfortunately, Stella's legal drama will get worse on Wednesday's GH episode. Alexis Davis will represent Stella, but she'll have to acknowledge that what Stella did is fraud by the insurance company's definition. Next, Sonny will confront ADA Turner and demand to know if she's going after his son. Despite Sonny's angry grilling session, Turner may find a way to cleverly hint that her real goal is taking down Drew, not Michael. General Hospital spoilers say Drew has more setbacks in his future, so stay tuned. Maxie's health crisis on General Hospital seemingly came out of nowhere, but could it have been intentional? General Hospital had Maxie on the edge of their seat when she crashed at the hospital. She went from seemingly being fine to having a heart attack out of nowhere. However, there may be a much more sinister reason for the health crisis she experienced. There have been a few clues that Maxie's near-death experience could have been planned and not a fluke. At the Metro Court, Sidwell met James. He learned more about Maxie than he knew, including her connection to Mac. Sidwell was interested in what the little boy had to say, which didn't give us too much pause until Maxie's emergency. While that may not be enough to draw conclusions, there is one more piece of the puzzle. When Sidwell was spending time with Lucy ahead of the segment on Home and Heart, he was excited about it. Marco found it odd that his father would be tuning in for the segment. Even though he has an interest in deception, he's never been one to sit and watch things like that. Both are minor red flags, but enough to cause a bit of intrigue. After all, Sidwell has his hands in several situations in Port Charles, so why not this one? It was announced that Kirsten Storms would be exiting the GH canvas for several months after she wrapped her scenes before summer break. This appears to be the beginning of that, as she is expected to be off-screen until later this year or early next year. She recently moved from Los Angeles to Nashville and is taking time to adjust to the change with her daughter, Harper. Eden McCoy explained that while Joss is focused on her mission, her growing respect for Vaughn complicates both her heart and her dangerous new assignment. General Hospital is back to doing what it traditionally has done best: intense fight scenes with a visceral edge. Case in point, a hitman disguised as a Five Poppies resort employee got the drop on Vaughn and began to strangle him. Jocelyn came upon this scene and, with near-deadly accuracy, she put a bullet in the assassin. However, he wasn't quite dead, so instead of a double tap, Vaughn smothered him with a pillow. After all that intensity, Eden McCoy unpacked what was going on for Joss. After the intense events in their hotel room, Joss and Vaughn had to secretly get rid of the body. Then, overwhelmed with her first kill, Joss didn't say a word and just sat in the shower, seemingly numb. In a rare moment on TV, Vaughn sat next to her to console her as she processed what had happened without any need for dialogue. One thing led to another, and the two found themselves dancing between the sheets. McCoy opened up to Soap Opera Digest about this sequence of events, stating that their dalliance happens in the heat of the moment. I don't think it's anything that was pre-planned or had already been brewing there. She explained that although they started off disliking one another, their mutual respect has grown over time. Since the death of Dex, Joss hasn't been with anyone. McCoy noted that Joss and Vaughn have their walls up, protecting their hearts. But then they kissed in Port Charles, and now slept together on her first mission. He's like this brooding guy that makes fun of her, but then he kisses her and we're back to square one. She explained of Joss's handler, partner. McCoy further explained that Joss has been focused on her job and hasn't been thinking about romance at all. I think she's trying to stay out of a personal relationship with him, but then "She's curious at times," she remarked. She further stated that if the two hadn't killed the assassin together, they probably wouldn't have hopped into bed. But the old adage that relationships based on intense experiences never work might apply here if they aren't careful, emotionally. Nobody saw this coming. As Maxie battled a heart attack, the heart-stopping August 19th, 2025 episode of General Hospital left us all fearing for the fan-favorite character's life. After Maxie collapsed on live television during Deception's segment on Home and Heart, everyone rallied around the beloved fashionista. Brooke Lynn was forced to inform her nemesis, Lulu, but when she called Felicia, Maxie's mother didn't answer. It wasn't until paramedics rolled Maxie in on a stretcher that Felicia, Lucas, and Elizabeth all learned of Maxie's medical emergency. After Maxie was said to be having a heart attack, Lucy comforted Felicia, who already experienced her daughter's heart failure back in the 90s. But it was Spinelli frantically running around GH, worrying about his Maximista that tugged at everyone's heartstrings, worrying he shouldn't have left the kids home alone, and then wondering how he could ever live without Maxie. At the same time, Maxie went into AFib and began flatlining, and that was when Lucas did all he could. He not only used the defibrillator on his cousin, but reminded her that no one else could plan his future wedding to Marco. Finally, Maxie's heart began again, and Lucas assured everyone the worst was over. Maxie having a sudden heart attack is a major scare for her loved ones. Back in 1994, a young Maxie was dying of heart failure and in need of a transplant. Felicia and Frisco worried they were about to lose their daughter when a devastating miracle occurred. Maxie's cousin BJ died in a bus accident, and her father Tony decided to donate his daughter's heart to Maxie. Maxie experienced heart trouble again in the early 2000s, where she was visited by BJ's presence and was reminded her time wasn't up yet. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Maxie Jones is on her way off the canvas for the time being. Maxie wants to go to the authorities about the bad money that Sonny Corinthos invested in Deception. Lucy Coe, Tracy Quartermain, and Brooke Lynn Quartermain all voted in favor of not going to the authorities with this knowledge, while Maxie voted against them. Gen Z Sidwell is already aware of this and is making plans for Ms. Jones. It is very likely that he is responsible for Maxie's collapse on the Home and Heart show. It appears that Maxie was poisoned by the Deception night cream that she is demonstrating with on Home and Heart, although it is also possible that Maxie could have been poisoned earlier and it just had taken effect, resulting in Maxie collapsing during the segment. The night of New Year's Eve 2022, Britt had her birthday of farewell party as she was planning to leave Port Charles. She saved Jocelyn Jacks from the Hook serial killer and thought that she had been grazed by the hook that was laced with snake venom. Perhaps Britt was not grazed by the hook at all and was poisoned another way. This could be the same poison that was used to poison Maxie. Maxie will fight for her life at General Hospital, and Dr. Lucas Jones will most likely be tending to her. The poison could produce death-like effects, just as it did with Britt 3 years ago. Maxie will be assumed dead, when in fact she is not, because the poison that was used makes it appear that way. The same thing happened to Britt. She appeared dead, but then her body was probably taken from the crematorium, and she was revived in order to do the research that she is currently doing at Five Poppies Resort. Peter August could be responsible for faking the deaths of Maxie Jones and Britt Westbourne. It is very possible that he somehow survived Felicia Scorpio attacking him with a tire iron. If Peter is still alive and obsessed with Maxie, he could easily fake her death and hold her hostage. It is widely speculated that Peter is the man that Britt is working for. Peter would take Maxie out of Port Charles after her apparent death, facilitating Kirsten Storm's months-long hiatus from the show. What do you think? Do you think that Maxie's death will be faked the same way as Britt's was? Is Peter still alive? Is Peter August Britt's boss? And is he pulling the strings on all of us? Keep watching General Hospital weekdays on ABC to find out what's next. General Hospital spoilers suggest a storm of betrayal is brewing, as whispers of deceit threaten to shatter Lucas Jones and Marco Rios's budding romance. We suspect that Marco might be manipulating Lucas, using their relationship as a tool to gather intel on the Corinthos family drama, particularly around Sonny Corinthos and Michael Corinthos, with Lucas confiding in Marco about personal struggles, only for Marco to relay secrets to his father. The trust feels fragile. Could this be a calculated scheme from the start, leaving Lucas heartbroken? If Lucas finds out that Marco isn't who he thought he was, he may soon find himself eating some very unpleasant crow. Lucas has leaned on Marco as a confidant, sharing his fears about Wiley Corinthos and his rift with Willow Corinthos, but fans on Facebook are alarmed by signs Marco might be exploiting that trust. Reports suggest Marco's been feeding his father sensitive details, turning Lucas's vulnerability into a weapon. Was this romance a setup to infiltrate the Corinthos and Quartermain clans? Or has Marco's affection grown genuine despite his initial motives? The thought of Lucas's love being a pawn is devastating. Can he sense the betrayal before it's too late? The deeper Lucas gets with Marco, the more his private struggles, once thought safe, seem to fuel a larger plot. Fans are starting to speculate that Marco's father, Jens Sidwell, might be using his son to orchestrate his blackmail scheme against Sonny, and thereby Marco is using Lucas's disclosures as leverage. If true, Marco's charm could be a mask, leaving Lucas isolated and humiliated. Will Lucas uncover this treachery, or will the truth surface through an unexpected ally, like Brad Cooper or Carly Spencer? His sister did try to warn him, but he wouldn't listen. Hey, at least he didn't slap anyone for telling him the truth. Lucas' world could crumble if Marco's love proves false, echoing the manipulation Willow has endured from Drew Quartermain that Lucas tried to point out to her. We certainly hope that Lucas dodges this heartbreak, but we also fear the fallout could ripple to Wiley, Michael, and Sonny. Of course, if Sonny senses trouble, he's going to retaliate, but that could leave Marco in the crossfire and Lucas feeling torn between his self-respect and his love for a man he wanted so badly to be a better guy. General Hospital spoilers tease that Carly Corinthos is currently enjoying her romance with WSB agent Jack Brennan. The pair have gotten close over the last couple years and are now fully in love with each other, but there is quite a bit of trouble on the horizon for this pair, and their love likely won't survive in the aftermath. Brennan is keeping a very big secret from Carly that will blow their romance out of the water. Currently, Carly has no idea that Brennan has recruited her daughter, Jocelyn Jax, into the WSB. Not only that, but Joss is currently engaged in a mission that could very well cost the young spy her life. Joss is very new to the spy game, and she is seriously underprepared for the disastrous mission currently taking place at the Five Poppies in Croatia. To make matters even worse, Jack has a traitor within his own organization. Jack has no idea that his trusted assistant, Colette Moreau, is actually working for the enemy. It was Colette who blew Joss and Vaughn's cover. Now Joss had to shoot an assassin who was trying to strange Vaughn. Chances are the danger to both Joss and Vaughn are far from over. It's not clear exactly why Colette has betrayed Brennan and the WSB, but it's likely she will take her evil plan one step further. In all probability, she's going to try to distract Brennan from what's happening in Croatia. And the best way to do that is to target Carly herself. Carly and Brennan have discussed going away for the weekend. This could provide Colette with the perfect opportunity to strike. If she goes after Carly, then Brennan will likely be too busy to check in with Jocelyn and Vaughn. Because once Brennan realizes Joss and Vaughn's cover was blown, it's not going to take him long to realize that Colette is the traitor. Colette may not really care if she succeeds in killing Carly, as long as Brennan is preoccupied long enough for Joss and Vaughn to be stopped once and for all. Can Brennan and Carly's love survive his secrets? Will Colette try to kill Carly to distract Brennan? Can Brennan get help to Joss and Vaughn in time? Anything can happen in Port Charles, so stay tuned to General Hospital airing weekdays on ABC. And don't forget to check back right here regularly for all your General Hospital news, information, and spoilers. Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.